and let the Monday morning ruckus begin. I'm Jay Cleveland Payne on this Monday the February 27th of 2023, bringing you to today's edition of Things You Might Not Have Heard. Now, what we'll have for you today, in just about a minute, we'll give you 10 stories that were vetted by you from the full weekend, from Friday at midnight to about 4 o'clock this morning. Some little adjustments. Facebook not being nice with getting its algorithms in, so we have to start this thing a little bit earlier to get it on time. And we'll give you 10 of the top 30 stories, no particular order, although the first story is the top story, that you said were worth talking about. And then I, of course, whittle them out to the best narrative. Now, if we're giving you the wrong stories, that means something that you voted up, that you think you voted up, that did not make it. Let me know in the comments wherever you're getting this, whether it's on the podcast or on the video feeds. Now, we are going to give you those stories. They're the latest from the weekend in information, politics, current events, and pop culture. We call ourselves your news side piece. So some of these stories won't be quite the normal things you'll get on Anderson Cooper every single night. But they are also very interesting things that, like we said, you vetted as pretty much something to talk about. So we'll get to those 10 stories right now and remind you, if you want to know more about what we do, we cut out a lot of the jibber jabber by just telling you, go to our website. This is aconversationproject.com. It has information on what we do, how we do it, and how you can help us keep on doing it if that is in your purview. So let's get to the news headlines right now. Starting off with the first headline from the morning, which is this one. And this was the top story over the weekend, happening late Saturday, going into Sunday. Tommy Fury beats Jake Paul in highly anticipated fight. Tommy Fury beat Jake Paul in their highly anticipated fight at the 15,000 capacity Dira Arena in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia on Sunday night. 20-year-old has dedicated his win to his daughter, Bambi. Now, two things happened last night, or three things happened with the win for Tommy Fury. Number one, Jake Paul's streak as the undisputed best boxer in the world gets some dispute because he got beat by a person he wasn't supposed to beat. Then this wasn't even one of the sort of the has-been washed-up guys that he's fighting for name recognition. This is just a regular guy making his way up into the ranks right now. And also, Logan Paul got to look kind of dumb at the ringside, associated with his brother, which is a win for everyone going forward. Logan Paul, the goofier of the Paul brothers, Jake and Logan, of course, making their names on the TikToks and the YouTubes, walking around doing goofy things for kids, and now making big money and doing big money things. Jake Paul gets himself basically popped in the mouth. Won by a split decision, so it wasn't like he got knocked out. It was a split decision, so yay for going the distance on that one. But we'll see what this means for Jake Paul's fighting career going forward. Not over, just a bit of a stumble, if you will. All right, so hang on for a second. Work with me here. COVID-19 likely emerged from a laboratory leak. Now, the Energy Department is finding that the virus spread after leaking out of a Chinese laboratory was significant, despite the fact that the agency made the updated judgment with low confidence. So right now, the Department of Energy is saying, yeah, it came from a Chinese lab. Yeah, it came from a leak someplace. No, they didn't drop it in Wuhan to test it before they sent it around the world and it got lost. So the conspiracy theory stuff still gets a little bit of a But the National Security Advisor, Jake Sullivan, acknowledged on Sunday that there were a variety of views within U.S. intelligence agencies in the U.S. that issued that COVID-19's origins came from a lab in China and came out from a leak, but they still not sure exactly how to detail what happened. So, yes, COVID-19 came from a lab in China. Yes, it got out by some sort of uncontrolled leak, but no, still not deliberate. CIA did not drop it on the Chinese and it got out of hand. That's not what happened. Parents of shooting victim rip Alabama's and Nate Oats for letting Brandon Miller play. Nate Oats, the coach of Alabama's basketball team, Brandon Miller, associated with a murder on the campus and is still playing, still getting cheers, still getting applause from the fans. Parents of the shooting victim, who is Jamil Harris, not exactly thrilled about what's happening. And it's called the handling of the situation, quote, god awful. This thing is not over by a long shot, but we're going to see how this thing plays out going forward once, they actually start dealing with charges and things like the actual handling of the situation and guns and stuff like that. But keep an eye on this one as we'll start seeing more of Alabama, more basketball as you get closer to the March Madness stuff. He's going to be in a bigger spotlight, and the parents, the murder victim, that he's associated with. Yes, not very happy. Let's check in with Riri really quickly. Rihanna gifted faux fur from PETA after appearing to wear real fur. A lot of faux furs. Rihanna gifted faux fur coat from PETA after appearing to wear real fur coat. Did it twice. So there you go. The director of PETA, Lisa Lang, saw Rihanna wear that big red thing during the Super Bowl thing and said, "Wow, that looks like real fur." Although I'm not sure what red animal she got it off of. Said, "Wow, it looks like real fur. We want to make sure, Rihanna, you are making the environment safe for your next child and your children going forward, a kinder world," and gave her a fake fur. There you go. It's just like that. Using Rihanna as a chance to further the cause, if you will, which I think is great and awesome. And Rihanna gets a new fur coat out of it as a baby gift or a mommy baby gift or whatever. So check that out if you want to check more details on that one. There's more into the article. They gave a quick blurb on that, but it's that simple. The head of PETA decided to give Rihanna a fur, a fake one, because it looked like the one she was wearing was real. But like I said, I'm not sure what red animal she killed to get that fur. Meanwhile, snow falls in Los Angeles area, thousands still without power. Snow fell in Los Angeles. It never rains in Southern California, but Southern Cali got a good bit of snow over the weekend. Now, it turned into rain when it fell down on LA, and basically you could only see them in the mountains, like around the Hollywood sign where it accumulated, but it was a snow. There is video. It happened. This winter storm that's actually still driving its way across the states should be showing up on the East Coast around Boston and New York sometime in the middle of the day, dropping inches and inches of snow across the nation, across the plains, and digging up a lot of really crazy things as well. Tornadoes already happening, and it's not even quite March yet. It's 2 days officially from March, not no tornado season, but tornadoes kicking up in the Midwest, in Oklahoma and Texas, and windstorms in Arizona happening over because of the wildness of this storm system. Check it out if you can by distance, watching it on the news. If you're in this midst of the storm, be safe. Our next story. Tommy Hilfiger says Russell Simmons made his clothes popular. Now, how did Russell Simmons make his clothes popular? Tommy Hilfiger told, or Russell Simmons told Tommy Hilfiger back in the 90s when all the rappers and hip hop guys and black kids were wearing Hot Tommy Hilfiger that Russell, well, because Tommy Hilfiger clothes looked expensive and made people feel rich when they wore them. So black kids wore them, so they felt like they had money. In the meantime, the rumors that Tommy Hilfiger back in the day said he didn't want black people, specifically a specific word used, that were kind of true. I'm not sure if he used that word, but he did say back in the day he was a little worried about hip hop culture embracing his clothing because he meant them to be worn by rich white dudes. That's what he said. He said that part. The N-word part, still a little iffy on that one, but he did believe that Tommy Hilfiger clothes, the popular line of designer clothes that were in stores, were meant for the preppy rich white kids, not for hip hop guys that were all wearing it, but they wore it because they want to feel like the preppy rich white kids. All makes sense. Meanwhile, Hilfiger made a lot of money. Here's one that you probably missed out on the mainstream media, but something that's interesting. This is coming out of Britain, so this is a big thought process in this. Now, the weirdness about interracial uh, lives in overseas, especially in England, and how they were so just terrible to Meghan Markle is kind of weird. But here's something that's a little deeper. The rise in interracial relationships is changing who is affected by sickle cell, because 1 in 5 white British people, 1 in 5 white people in the UK have an ancestor who is of darker descent, African American or Indian or even Arab. And I didn't know this. Sickle cell anemia does affect people of darker complexions, such as African Americans, but also folks of Arab and Indian descent do have issues with this as well. It's not as prominent as it is because it's mostly African Americans here in the States, and it seems like it's just sort of a black thing, but it is something for people with darker pigment skin. Now, it's not the skin that's the issue, it's other line things. And so there are more people in interracial relationships, more people born from interracial relationships who have mixed genes, if you will, who are now susceptible to things like sickle cell, which Makes more sense. More darker skinned blood, more black blood in people. I said that out loud. More chances of this disease spreading to people who have that. Now, people with plain old, simple Caucasian white genes, not as susceptible as people who have some heritage of African Americans or Africans in them, I guess. Afro Britons, in this case here. Interesting story. Check out the link and read the story because it's something that you should probably know more about going forward. Here's something that you're probably glad you know about because you were not surprised. Succession ending with season 4 on HBO. Jesse Armstrong, the creator, confirms he didn't want people to be freaked out by last minute finding out, oh, this is the end, or starting it up and saying this is the last season. He's saying it out front. The 4th season, which I'm pretty sure is whenever I don't watch this session, so I'm pretty sure this is the 4th season coming up now, is going to be it out front. It is done. The final run is there. And he's both conflicted about it, but also happy to end the show on his own terms as it goes out. And maybe this has something to do with the weirdness going on in Warner Brothers and HBO. Have something to do with all the turmoil that's going on with HBO Max and those things like that. But we do know he's got the chance to wrap the show up on his own. If you're a fan of Succession, which is, Yellowstone in New York, basically, you'll want to know this is going to be a very short in run. People are so nutso about this. I'll try to get into it fairly soon, I guess, but it's one of those things that you have to know a little bit about to get into. I never watched Game of Thrones and will never watch that. I'm a great fantasy lover of fantasy type stories. Just didn't care for Game of Thrones. This is one that everyone's talking about, and you got to have the HBO to watch it. So I've not gotten into that because honestly, HBO is a bit expensive right now. So I'm not watching that, but I'll probably get into it as it comes into easier ways to access. Yellowstone, I've been DVRing it since literally the beginning and yet to get into it because time. You people. Doing stuff for you people. Doing stuff for you people also includes newspapers. Now, there's actually a update to this that's going to be posted in our feed in a couple hours. This came down from the weekend. Newspapers dropped Dilbert comic strip after creator's racist rant. So several papers dropped him, including, several papers added to the list who dropped him over the weekend based on his calling Black Americans a hate group in YouTube video. Now, the big thing that sort of got this going as a thing was the Cleveland Plain Dealer who dropped him and wrote a very distinct, very unique, and very interesting read of a editorial on why they dropped him. I saw this earlier, like Thursday or Friday in the weekend, and then posted the story about more papers dropping from that. This morning, coming out, breaking news a couple hours ago, and we'll post it in our feeds because it's kind of set to post. The distributor of his comic book has dropped him officially, so Dilbert's going to be gone forever. We may talk about this one bigger tomorrow if that is one that you deem conversational. But more comic strips are going there. What you need to do is click the link for the Daily Beast to see the quick write-up. Then click the link they have in there for the link at the Cleveland Plain Dealer and read the full description on why. Essentially saying Scott Adams is saying really disgusting, stupid things, and it's not a hard decision to get rid of a person saying disgusting, stupid things, even though we go deeper into the editorial. They talk about how a few years back when Funky Weatherbean, when that guy quit doing his strip, they replaced him with Beetle Bailey, and people were like, isn't that misogynistic and kind of from the 60s? And they explain why it's not. Here they explain why it is and why it's bad and why it's really no big idea, no big whoop to do on how to figure to stop carrying this guy. And now everyone will stop carrying him. And that is a good thing. Oh, finally. Oh God, oh God, oh God, oh God, oh God. We're so happy with this one. Marianne Williamson confirms she will run for president in 2024. Hooray, hooray, hooray. The joy in my heart of all the memes and all the news will be made by this kooky lady who has no chance and is nowhere near qualified to run a government, but will say things that everybody wants to hear her say because they're on their minds. It's all the dumb things that you're thinking about saying that aren't really dumb. They just don't fit in the conversation. Marianne Williamson will say that, and she'll bring up crystals and chakras and all sorts of other great things. So yes, 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 yes. 3 more times. Yes, yes, yes. Marianne Williamson, bring in the pain or the kooky to the presidential race as a Democratic nominee for this upcoming election. So she's primarying Biden. Biden's getting primaried by Marianne Williamson. I am all for it. 3,000%. Let's go to our teaser story for this morning, which is actually a teaser story for tomorrow, if you will. Will we chat this one up tomorrow? If you deem this one conversational, you just have to tell us that it is. Go to our feeds on Facebook and Twitter. Oops, Facebook and Twitter. And tell us if you want to talk about this. German City axes Roger Waters concert, calls him one of the world's most known anti-Semites. Roger Waters is going a bit of the MAGA route these days. And while people in the music industry make their money by touring, not by the music being played on the not radios and the not radio streaming services, Roger Waters was basically starting the tour of Europe. And Germany is like, we can't really have Roger Waters. We love his music. We love the guy. We love what he did. But all these crazy anti-Semitic things he's saying kind of go against the German pledge to pretend like these things didn't happen. Henceforth, canceled. When we talk in deeper detail on this story tomorrow, you be the judge. Literally, go to facebook.com/this is a conversation and twitter.com/th_conversation. Those are our feeds where we put the stories every 50 minutes in there. This one's already in the feed listed, so you can go there as soon as I'm done chatting to go with that one. Like it, love it, hate it, share it, get into the groove, won't you? And let us know if this is a story we're talking about. Tomorrow through Friday, we'll give you 8 stories every morning from the top 15 per day, about 30 to 33 based on a full day, about 90 or so based on a full weekend. So that's why we did 10 today, less tomorrow, but more concentrated, if you shall. Let's talk about money, because money makes this thing happen. Go to our sponsors page and find one of our sponsors that may find something for you to do that you can help us out with. It costs you nothing extra. These are all affiliate links. But this is for AppSumo. This is something that I kind of sponsor myself in, because I am constantly looking at and buying various new tools from AppSumo as they present to you burgeoning tools for business and personal productivity at great discounts. In fact, most of these things are lifetime deals or first year deals that are significantly marked down. Check out AppSumo right now for great deals, or at least when we're done talking here, for great deals on great programs that may be something you're looking for. You might want that name brand, big type thing that everybody's using, but you don't want to pay name brand prices. They're going to offer you a discount on something that someone else is doing, a competitor is doing, very similar, and see how it goes. Now, they're not the same. Some of these things are brand new things that may take some time to grow. Many of the things I bought on the low end as they were growing because I wanted something used have, because of lifetime deals, cost me nothing extra on their life. And as they have gained more activities and gained more features, have been godsends. See the next best thing at AppSumo. Go to this. It's a conversationproject.com/AppSumo. This is a conversationproject.com/AppSumo. Yes, AppSumo. And check out what they have today. And tell Noah, my boy Noah, that I said thanks. Now, this is a conversation project is our home with the .com in it, of course. Stop by and see what other things we provide for you. More versions of this. You can either do it without the pictures of my faces and not the sound of my voice either. There's various ways to get this good content every single weekday morning, Monday through Friday, plus other things we create from this brand, if you will, from my More Better Media, bigger brand of podcasts and videos and things like that. And we also are on TikTok. We're going to do some TikToks today. We're going to chop up a couple things in the TikTok. Trying to put some more stories in there. We're trying to make things that are evergreen so they can grow a bit, but we're going to see what's going on. So follow us on TikTok. The link is inside. You can find a link there at the website, and you can follow us on other things and find the other things at this. It's a conversationproject.com. And now we are done. It's a long morning because it's Monday. So it's time for the fun stuff with today things, for things you might have heard. Starting off with the birthdays. Yay, the birthdays. Birthdays are February 27th. Not a lot of birthdays today, but we're highlighting Adam Baldwin, turning 61 years old today. Also, birthday twin Grant Show, 61 as well. And Chelsea Clinton. She's probably your favorite Clinton because the other two Clintons are kind of iffy, other than, George Clinton and maybe, Roger Clinton. But Chelsea Clinton turning 43 years old today. Today, we're celebrating Pokemon Day because why the heck not? If you got to go catch them all, it's your destiny to be the best like no one ever can, if you want to run with Ash or these new children that are going unsupervised across the nations of these imaginary worlds, playing with these probably dangerous creatures that speak their names for words, celebrate Pokemon Day. click the links in the descriptions or search up Pokemon Day and figure out how you can survive Pokemon Day. Pokemon still one of the highest selling card games out there, collectibles going forward, even with the video games going forward and the cartoons, which kind of grow into it. My daughter is obsessed with the cards. She doesn't know how to play the game, but she's obsessed with collecting the cards and the animals and learning about the different creatures, Pokemon, if you will. And we've got Pokemon stuffies all over the place. It's like nothing but Pokemon plushies everywhere. We can't even walk into the room. They're just all over the place. You trip over a Snorlax just trying to get to the bed. It's insane. I don't understand it. But that's what children do. What people do, what politicians did in 1951. Today in history, the 22nd Amendment to the United States Constitution, which limited presidents to 2 terms, was ratified. Why was this? There once was a time where a president ran 3 terms and may have won a 4th, except he died. He was the guy that led us through World War II. Might have been a good thing. However, some people deemed, or at least enough people on the other side who wanted a way to kind of kill the power, deemed that having the same guy run into session over again was close enough to electing a king. So they stopped giving the chance to elect a king. They gave him 2 terms. Now, this also gets a little iffy when somebody is someone takes over in the middle of a term. Can they run for 2 terms and have, more than 8 years because they have an overlapping term? No one's quite done that yet. Can they run for some consecutive terms or non-consecutive terms? No one's done that officially. Well, only one president has done that, once where it happened. President Trump will attempt that this time coming forward. See if he can get the non-consecutive terms. See if that works out. See how that works out going forward. But history made on this day, 1951. And finally, the thing you've all been waiting for, with a button that I can press. One more thing you might have heard for today. According to the U.S. National Travel and Tourism Office, 62.8 million international visitors will come to the U.S. in 2023. That's this current year, up 21.2% from 51.8 million who visited in 2022. That's still south of the 79.4 million who visited in 2019. You kind of know where we're going here. But the office believes that close to 80 million people will visit in 2024, going back up and beating the pre-pandemic record. So the peeps are coming back to America. And unfortunately, after pandemic, with the things we got going on here, I don't think we kept the place very tidy. So hopefully by 2024, we can clean some stuff up. Probably not. And that's it for today, at least. Monday, February the 27th, 2023. Thank you so much for joining us for things you might not have heard. And most of these things are things I hope you did hear out there in the news, because you guys tell us what to talk about. And if you're a person who don't get into, not grammatically correct there, the actual voting up and getting into the stuff here, you can easily do that by following us on our feeds. Go to Facebook and Twitter. Our pages on Facebook and Twitter allow you to see what stories are posting down the line. And then you too, if you're watching it next to a person, like person watching next to you with you on the screen, can vote up the stories, can vote vet ed stories to see what we're talking about for the next day. 8 stories for tomorrow through the rest of the week. So you can give me a chance to be in that one as well. Also, check out our main website, which is just the thisisconversation.com thing for more details on things we do, including stopping by our partnerships page. We really do need some help in partnerships. So I'm going to push a lot on that without being too pushy, not quite pledge drivey, but check out the partnerships page as well. Stay hydrated, stay limber, and stay on task for all the grand things you are meant to do in 2023, and especially in 2024 when all the tourists come back, because we're going to need you to show some folks some stuff around. Be a tour guide, be a touristy, do an Airbnb, offer up a room or something. In the meantime, we've chatted way too much. There are stories already posting right now. We post new stories every 50 minutes on our feed. So check them out as you can, engage with them as you can, and be with us tomorrow if you can.